Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Get ready for a fascinating look at a very rare, if not one of the rarest, radionic instruments of all time. You know, I brought you the strangest one, which has been pointed out to me recently, the actual oddest little bowl thing, which seems to be a chip and guacamole dip container that was converted into a radionic machine with little or no value. But here we get one of the most interesting things from Bruce Copen, who was very prolific in his time. He unfortunately died fairly young and left no corporate structure, no family or anything else to take over his company, which is still running under his name, but that's about it. They've changed all of his equipment and made it into now computerized and moving away from what you would call, I guess, analog, like computers can do consciousness work. That's about as amusing as AI, artificial intelligence. There's no such thing as artificial intelligence, people. But here we go, called the modern Prospector. And this is the actual instruction booklet that goes with it. It's a very, very rare instrument here. And we're going to be offering this for sale on our website so you can actually get some information of how this is done, how this instrument works. Maybe you have one or somebody has one and they don't know how to use it. So it's a really nice little book that goes into it. I mean, Copen did make very attractive, well-made instruments. As with most of these, it seems to be the usual. The guts are not really anything. He puts batteries and other things in them so people think they work. And, of course, you know, you have to do that because people don't understand the way these things work. But amplification, particularly in this day and age, is very, very important. So he goes how to set it up. He tells you how to pinpoint where certain things are to dig, which shows you here as he laid out some pins. And there is a whole rate book in the back here, which is probably worth a fortune with all sorts of minerals listed here. I've never seen that. Asbestos, barite, basalt. So it goes all into these here gas, coal gas, cobalt. I mean, this is pretty cool stuff here that you can actually pinpoint where deposits of minerals, even petroleum, etc. is. And it's got this whole rate book in the back, I don't know, 10 pages. So it's very, very fascinating. And he states here, you are a modern prospector. In your hands is one of the most modern pieces of equipment available. It will last you many years with careful using. You are working on the threshold of the unknown yet tangible world, and you have an advantage over many who do not have this equipment. For this instrument is the only one of its kind currently available, and as such, treat it with care and give it your full good service. Don't expect to find a fortune first time out, but with a little experience, and if the thing you are seeking is around, you and your instrument as a team will find it. You have any problems whatsoever, please contact me, and so forth. Good luck. So, I mean, very, very interesting here. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of details here. I've already given a little bit too much. We'll give you a quick view here. Now, if you want details, you have to become a Patreon member, and you have to become a level of $20 a month donation to our organization, the IGOS Institute of Technology, which houses the Radionic and Subtle Energy Institute, which is pretty much one and the same. So you have this thing, and this is for actually pinpointing. You put a map down, and you put this here, and that connects you to the actual instrument. You have to use a particular type of pendulum, apparently. Here's the pendulum. And, of course, has an on and off switch, which Copen is famous for. Doesn't seem to be anything working inside. But if you want to see what's inside and get the more technical aspect, well, you have to be a Patreon member. Or if you want to circumvent that and make it easier on yourself, go and join All Access. and All Access will get you most of the information, but a lot of the photos you're going to have to pay for as an additional fee to get this in-depth training, the videos of how this works, how to go through it. This is all very complicated, very rare information, and if you expect the Institute to be here, IGOS to be here to further this technology, and we're the only ones doing it, you need to support us. So we'll give you a little quick view. So that's it. You've got 9 dials. You've got your typical witness well. It's a nice little box. What is this, about 8 inches by 10 inches? Very small because it was meant to take out in the field. So very, very cool as usual, and very well made as Copen stuff always is. Always very attractive. He put good amount of time into making things look very professional and so forth. Now, again, as usual, what's the guts? What makes them work? Well, you know, that's always a problem. It has a potency dial here on the side. And closures here, obviously to keep it nice and tight. In the back here is a opening panel, and it's powered by a 9-volt battery, which I got with the unit, which is still going. Maybe you ought to research that. Sunbeam battery. And since it's lasted so long. So you got this fantastic unit. We are going to be making a similar type unit to this in the future. We're going to see exactly what this is, copy it, and bring it into the 21st century, where we'll actually be making more empowered ones using much more higher amplified units, which is so critical in this stage. You know, amplification is very important and allows particularly the unskilled and beginners, or even people who are intermediates, be able to achieve higher things with this kind of consciousness radionic technology. The average person is going to have a lot of trouble dialing, and this is the reason why radionics in general hasn't achieved too much with the average person, because it takes a lot of skill, basically. You have to be trained. And of course, our Radionic Institute trains you. We have courses. We're going to be adding a huge amount of information there. You have access to rare data, free publications. All of this is part of the All Access membership, which you should have without a doubt. It's also a great way to support us. And guess what? Technically, at $100 a year, what is that? $8 and a few pennies to support an organization and get critical information? I mean, that's what it's all about, people. If you don't support those who know, and I've been in this field for 40 years now, I'm the #1 expert in this entire field. No one has any kind of training that comes close to mine. And I have studied in a very eclectic path. I mean, I've studied everything. And I have most instruments. I mean, you're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody that has this machine. I'm sure these were probably hardly any of this was ever sold. And when it was only sold for a very short period of time. So this is one of the few units in the world. If you want to know more about it, well, get your little bottom over to Patreon. Support us there with your $20 a month donations, and you'll be able to see all these films. And of course, you should be also becoming a member of the All Access. So All Access will get you into the institutes. All of our other pages, we have basically 4 colleges with 4 libraries. It's a fantastic opportunity to get huge amounts of information for pennies. So in the end, people, if you don't support the proper organizations, you get what we have in radionics now, a bunch of goofball, basically people who are mostly Satanists, believe it or not. So it's quite shocking.